So this week we are covering delegates and event handling. And um, a lot of students struggle a little bit with delegates, but it basically, I kind of view it as almost like an alias. You're assigning a name basically to a method, and you can use your assigned name instead of the method name. And then you might think, well, why in the world why do we do that? Because you can't pass a method uh, to another method, but you can pass a delegate to methods. Okay, so that's one of the reasons we do that. Um, so we're trying to keep it simple so you understand how to create them. Okay, so that's kind of our goal this week. And so that is what we are going to primarily be focusing on. However, we are also going to talk about solid design principles. And these are principles that we have been learning about every week, but we haven't put a label on them. So this week we are labeling them. So when you come in here, what I did is I went through all five of them and I gave example posts of each principle. And I think that they're very similar to what you need to do. And I also think they will help you understand the principle. And you are going to have to pick one to write a post on. So I highly recommend that you look at these posts. And then you can come down and, review this reading information. The posts that I created, um, kind of in a nutshell, define what this principle is. Okay. And then I give you a coding example. Okay. And so, what is good design? What is poor design for single responsibility principle? Okay, for some of the coding examples, I actually give you code. Yeah, like this one I did. So this is the open close principle. So I've got good design, and then I've got bad design. Okay, so I would read through those examples. They're not super long because they're examples of posts. Okay, and then you'll go through here and you'll review the information and you will pick one of the principles. And so you're going to provide an example that utilizes at least one of the design principles you learned about. In your example, discuss what a good design is, what a poor design is, and how the principle impacts the design. Okay. And so if you get an idea, and I think you will get ideas, some of these especially, they have so many ideas and applications that I don't think you guys will have a problem, especially open close principle in this Liskov principle. I think those two we've actually worked with quite a bit. So if you come up with an example of good design and poor design and how the principle impacts design, you can actually run it through Chat GPT and say, hey, is this a good example for Liskov substitution principle? Chat GPT will tell you if there is a problem with your example or not. Okay, so I highly recommend utilizing that resource. Okay. And then once you have made your post, you're going to review your classmates' posts and reply to at least two. Okay. So that is our discussion. And once you finish the discussion, then you can go ahead. I would probably do that first. That's why I listed it first. And then go into the web readings, and the web readings do focus on delegates. And then, so we have like regular delegates that you create, and then there are kind of some predefined delegates that you can actually use. So the C# library has a function and an action delegate, so you can read about those. And then I have a couple different resources. So, if you don't understand Geeks for Geeks, come down to tutorial teachers. Okay. So these are all different resources. And then we get into C# events. Once you finish the readings, go ahead and go through the lecture demo. And so we start with custom delegates because those are the ones that you create. And there's two types, single cast or multicast. So we go through both. Then we get into the action delegates and the function delegates. And then finally, we finish up with events. Okay, so lots and lots of coding examples in here for you to look at that are explained in the video. And once you get done with that, you can do the understanding check. There is one question on solid design. And in our lecture demo, there is actually another design pattern that there is a question about. And this pattern, I believe it's called the observer pattern. Yes. So make sure you read through this and understand what the observer pattern is. And I do have some examples that I think will make sense to you. Okay. Um, and there is a question about this. Okay, so those are in the understanding check. Works like all the other ones. You can take it an unlimited number of times. And each time you do the understanding check, you can go back in, and I believe I set it up so you improve on your score. So then we get into the lab assignment. And there is a video that explains the instructions for this, but there are 3 exercises. The first is multicast delegates. The second, you will be using a function delegate, an action delegate, and a custom delegate. And the third one is the event delegate. And it's very, very similar to one of the exercises in the lecture demo. I highly recommend, I'm going to post the video shortly, but I highly recommend watching the assignment video, especially for exercise 2. People make this way more complicated than it needs to be. So if you watch that video, I actually show you how easy it is to set up these delegates. Okay, so watch the video, save yourself some time. Okay, and let's see, after you do the lab assignment, that is it for this week. And if you have any questions or if you run into problems, please let me know because I am here to help you.